You're listening to the Overcast. Sunshine on a cloudy day. Part of the Oversoul Gaming channel. Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the Overcast, your joke-making, fun-having pop culture podcast. I am your host, Justin, aka Oversoul.
And I am Nick, your co-host, aka the Vaping Fiend.
Yes, and we're bringing you sunshine on a cloudy day, and it seems like both of us got a little bit tongue-twisted in the beginning there, but that's okay.
A little bit.
Just a tiny bit. Just a few words out of order. But anyways, how has life been treating you? I think, has it been a week since we recorded last week, right? So it's been a week.
Yeah, we did
the crossovers episode.
Yes, we did the crossovers episode.
Yeah, so by the time the audience is hearing this, it'll be like in November, and currently for us it's October 23rd, 22nd. And yeah, October 22nd. And by the time you're hearing this, it'll be in November or possibly later. So
right.
Just know that the topic of this episode is maybe a couple weeks late, but it was timely at the time of recording, and that is going to be all about Disney because it is their 100th birthday. Holy mother of God. They are old.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about all things Disney, which is always a good topic anytime, but this is just a nice excuse for it.
Yes, exactly.
So, before we get there, tell me how this last week has been treating you.
Well, Wednesday was a really good day. Sarah came up and visited me on her day off.
That's an investment for because I'm guessing she doesn't have 2 days off back to back.
No, she doesn't. She drove the 4.5 hours out here. We went around and got some stuff done. And it was a nice like few hour visit.
That is awesome.
And she drove the 4.5 hours back same day.
And it sounds like she'll be coming out again sometime this coming week?
Yes. Yeah, she's this upcoming Wednesday, she's coming up on the 25th. She's gonna get here around like noon, 1 o'clock-ish. And she's staying through until Sunday the 29th. And Friday the 27th, we are going to go to the Rockford Ice Hogs versus the Iowa Wild at the Metro Center. I refuse to call it the BMO Center because fuck that bullshit. Also, I'm going to talk about this a little more in the media corner, but she got a ticket to see the virtual live show for Small Town Murder, and I am excited because we'll actually be watching them as opposed to listening to them, and they are so fucking funny.
Ooh, man, spoiler alert.
I'm excited.
Telling us what's in your media corner already.
I'll talk a little bit more about it in the media corner. I'll talk more about it.
Well,
just a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling what I'm talking about in my media corner. Not yet, anyway.
No, fair. That's fair. Yeah, but no, she got a ticket for us to watch the virtual live. It was good. I'm excited.
Good stuff.
Yes.
From what I understand, I do believe you two are planning a little visit out my way on Friday as well.
Friday, same day of the game. We'll have to make it out a little early in the day. Because we do have to be back to get my daughter off the school bus.
Oh yeah, no worries whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me. Um, we'll hash out those details a bit later, but yeah, I'm looking forward to having you guys over. Of course, by the time people are hearing this, that time will have come and gone.
Yes.
But okay, anything else new or exciting or
Oh, bro, work has been super busy lately. Man, like Thursday night, I can't tell you how many fucking PlayStation 5s I loaded into that truck. There was, and more specifically, the Spider-Man 2 limited edition console. 90% of that truck was PlayStation 5s.
Okay. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it was constant. They were coming down very fast.
I hate to burst anyone's bubble, by the way, but at the time of recording this episode, neither of us have played Spider-Man 2 yet. I'm still waiting on my copy to come in the mail, and I think Nick's plans for a day one purchase did not go the way he expected. So
No, it did not. I was hoping to get my hands on it, but I don't yes, I make I make a lot an hour, but my hours don't reflect it.
you don't get a lot of hours. Yeah.
No, I don't.
That's the unfortunate thing about part-time, and what I might be looking at again when I get back out into the work thing, because I've still been throwing applications and stuff out there, and it's a bit of a struggle out here, but we'll see what happens. I'm making it work either way.
How's Nibbler doing?
She is doing fantastic. She's eating well, sleeping well,
Good. I'm glad.
She is affectionate, but not a fan of being picked up very much.
She's very picky.
Yeah.
She got very picky with that here.
She will scream at you about it, but she will let it happen anyways.
Yeah.
But, don't try to get like all cuddly with her, or she will not like that. So
yeah, no, trust me, I know. I learned that the hard way once.
Yeah, but she's doing fine. No problems.
Good.
No problems, really.
I'm glad she was able to readjust fairly easily.
Yeah, she made herself quite at home almost immediately.
Nice. I'm glad.
Yes. Outside of that, though, I've just been trying to keep busy. I'm recording Let's Plays. I'll actually get into one of them because, I recently finished recording a playthrough today that I will talk about that game in my media corner. And, since you recommended it after only 2 episodes, in the last episode, I started watching Goosebumps, and I'm fully caught up on it. I've seen all 6 episodes now. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's 6 out now?
Yes. Yep.
Oh shit, that's right.
And okay. I gotta say, you undersold it. I'm not doing a review on this or anything. That's why it's here. I'm just saying I watched it. But you undersold it, because I thought, from the way that you said it, that it was going to be like an anthology series where the episodes are all like kind of connected to each other. But no, this is a whole like overrunning story arc focused on one particular character, where all of the Goosebumps shit is like artifacts that happen to be from a haunted house that affect all the different characters in the same story differently, and each episode might have a heavy focus on them, but it jumps around between characters and keeps all of their stories going throughout every episode. It's a full on show.
Yeah, no, trust. I thought that's how I explained it.
It's a serialized show. It's what that is. Like, it's.
Gotcha. Okay.
I see what you meant about, like, the mask, the CGI, and all that. I like what they did with some of that stuff, and some of the stuff, like, the Say Cheese and Die one, unfortunately, didn't get the screen time it deserved because most of that episode was spent setting up the story and characters. And
yep, sure was.
That thing was like Final Destination for teenagers in the book version. Yeah. You know, so like I was hoping for more out of that one, but you know what? I like the show so far.
It's good. Yeah.
Season 2 of Loki continues to be good too, as I continue to watch that.
Okay.
I've been going through that. I know I talked about Assassin's Creed Mirage in the Media Corner my last episode, but I finished it since then, and everything I said still stands. But I've also, like, you know, I got the itch a while back to go back and like replay all the Assassin's Creed games. And so I've been doing that too on the side. Like, it's been a long process. I started it maybe like, I want to say end of last year or earlier this year with the first game. And then I played through the whole Ezio trilogy. And now I'm on Assassin's Creed 3. But that's just, you know, something I've been doing to fill the time. All of that and playing Honkai Star Rail, which is free. It's free on PlayStation, just like Genshin.
There you go.
Just like Genshin Impact, it's free to play. So yeah, that, and not for like Plus members or whatever. It's like legit free because it's like a mobile game kind of, but it plays like a console game, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. So. You see what I mean if you played it. It's like a JRPG with turn-based combat, and it's in a sci-fi. Yeah. It's in a sci-fi place. You're like driving a space train to different planets, trying to find the source of their problems and fix them.
Yeah.
So that is what I've been doing. It hasn't been a very exciting life since I moved. Since I moved, everything calmed down and nothing has happened. And to be honest, even when I was working, nothing happened there either, for the most part. It was just the same shit every day. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of life updates, which leads me to believe I don't have much of a life. This is what I'm starting to realize. I don't do things. I don't see people. I guess I should say PJ came around and hung out last Sunday. I should have mentioned that in the last episode we recorded because it was that day, you know.
Oh shit. Yeah, you didn't mention PJ.
It was that morning. Yeah, but it was just the usual. He came over to, you know, hang out, chill for a bit. We watched some TV and that was that. New season of Rick and Morty started. I watched the first episode of that. It's okay so far, you know, not bad. I don't miss Justin Roiland, you know, fuck him.
Right.
I don't care, you know. The new guys are fine. It's fine. It's okay. It will grow on me. So, and I think that's about it. And of course the new season of SNL started, and I've only seen the first episode, but apparently last night Bad Bunny hosted.
Interesting.
And was the musical guest. Yes, last episode, however, it was Pete Davidson and Ice Spice, and if you haven't yet, I think I mentioned it briefly last time too, but if you haven't yet, you absolutely have to watch this Pete Davidson episode. My God, is the funniest shit they've done in a long time. Seriously.
Yeah, no, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, don't sleep on that. Like, you of all people, seriously. Like, this episode is like catered to you.
Fair enough. All right, I'll have to check it out then.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. Like I said, Not much. Not much. My life is consumed by media, which is why I started this podcast in the first place.
Hell yeah.
So, all right. Well, with that in mind, speaking of media, on to the media corner it is then.
And with your generous sacrifice, I'll be beautiful. But for now, let's have fun.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Media Corner, the part of the show reserved for news, reviews, and recommendations. And as I mentioned earlier, I had finished recording a Let's Play today, and that game that I finished recording, which episodes aren't going to come out until I don't know when, probably after this comes out, honestly. So, but that game was Bendy and the Dark Revival.
Okay.
And so my thoughts on this game are very mixed. So it's a sequel to Bendy and the Ink Machine. It takes place 10 years after. Now,
okay.
To talk about this game, I am going to have to spoil kind of the first game. And so, spoilers for a game from 2017, everyone. That
You've been warned.
That Bendy and the Ink Machine, the game at the end, they kind of reveal that you're stuck in a time loop and that this same shit just happens over and over again.
Okay.
Well, apparently the protagonist from that game found a way to break the loop at some point because the sequel takes place 10 years later in a different loop. Now you're playing as a different character named Audrey who gets dragged into this mess. And the villain in this game is trying to take these evil cartoon characters that he's created in this cartoon world and bring them out into the real world is what he's trying to do. And so in this game, you play as Audrey, who is part human, part ink monster, and you have powers, and there's combat. You have a pipe that you can smack enemies with, and stuff like that. And everything is made of ink, and it's all got like this weird sepia tone to it, and yeah. But the atmosphere is good, the story is good, the character designs are awesome. Some of the monsters look really cool, but the game has a few problems. The frame rate drops terribly in some areas. The combat is kind of clunky. Some of the mechanics are ass. And the biggest problem I have with this game, the most absolute annoying thing, I want to say it's my own fault, but it's really not when you think about it. There is this area that you can find in the game where there's this big crate. And if you open the crate, what happens to be in there is the corpse of a rejected cartoon character. Now, when you turn away from the crate to go look at other stuff, when you turn back, the corpse isn't there anymore. Well,
oh shit.
From that point forward, throughout the entire rest of the entire fucking goddamn game,
you did open the crate.
That particular creature will randomly pop up in front of you to jump scare the shit out of you, hit you a couple times to take your health down, and then disappear again like the little shit nugget that it is. And the fucker does this at the most random intervals. There's no script behind it or reason. It's just like he's on like an invisible timer or something that it just every once in a blue moon when you're not expecting it. And even in areas where you think you're safe, you're not. But
that's fucking hilarious.
For the people watching, it's going to be quite funny. For me, as a person who was playing it, it was extremely annoying and took a full goddamn point off of my total score for the game. because to me, that's like, it would be, the developers thought they were being clever, and it would be if it was used more sparingly, but they overdo it. This game has a problem with things overstaying their welcome. Like, there are these creatures near the end called the Keepers that I really like. They're really cool. You have to sneak around them. You can't fight them, and they're designed like a monster from Soma. They're awesome.
Right.
When you first meet them, I loved it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was really well done. By the end of the game, I was fucking done with them because they overstay their welcome. There's parts with them that become really cramped and annoying and very cheap in how they get to you. And it was there are like moments where I'm literally just sitting there hiding in a barrel for like a minute and a half, waiting for this slow ass motherfucker to slug his way back and forth down the hallway. Like, I don't mind I love the cat and mouse stealth thing in horror games, but this game wasted my time a lot and my health.
Fair enough.
For no reason. And
I mean, you open the crate.
Yes, but there's no indication whatsoever that if you open that crate, which normally leads to like items and shit, that you're gonna
Okay, that's fair.
You're gonna get haunted by a random jump scare for the next 4 hours of the game. You know?
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
It's funny if it happens like in that area. Now it's a threat you have to worry about in that area, because some areas have area specific monsters. One of them had like a spider monster that kept randomly popping out of the ceiling at me, you know.
Okay.
But this thing follows you for the rest of the fucking game, and
Jesus Christ,
it wouldn't be so bad if it didn't, one, take down some of your health, and it has a bad habit. It will pop up. Like I said, it's random when it pops up. Like, it's coded to be completely random. So it's not like at certain intervals. It's not like every 40 minutes, or so you can expect it, or you literally can't predict when it's going to happen. There's no indication whatsoever. It's literally just poof there. And it's
right.
a fucking heart attack. Every time. But it happened to me once when I was in the middle of combat in the area with the aforementioned spider monster popping out of the ceiling, coming at me. I also had to deal with the regular ink people monsters, because there's like tons of them. They're just like the regular generic enemy you kill in the game, that were also on my ass. And then that thing pops up, and in the middle of me being bombarded by all these things surrounding me, the worst possible thing happens. Even worse than the random jump scare thing is the ink demon himself, the big evil bad of the whole thing, the scariest monster in the game. If he shows up, the screen gets covered in a bunch of ink, everything starts shaking, and there's big text on the screen that says, "The ink demon is coming, hide." And you have, like, maybe 10 seconds, if you're lucky, to find the nearest hiding spot. Because if you don't, the ink demon will catch you and he will insta-kill you. And much like this random jump scare monster I unleashed from a crate, the ink demon is also completely random when he shows up. No rhyme or reason to it. He's just poof there for no reason. However, there are moments of breathing in the game. There are moments in the game when you're safe, you know. So there is that. The story is good, but basically this will be an entertaining watch for people when I put the Let's Play out. But I suffered in this playthrough in a way that made me angry, and because
I'm sure I'll be able to pick out the moments where you get really pissed off.
And because of the angry, I therefore did not have much of a good time with this game. And this isn't one of those, like, I'm angry because I'm bad at the game and I'm projecting it onto the game itself. This game has some legitimately annoying and badly made mechanics. Fair enough. I like the story. I like the atmosphere. I like the visuals, the graphics. All of that is great. The voice acting is great. It's a pretty decent game. But a lot of the gameplay mechanics suck ass. Some of the platforming is trial and error. Like, you have to like use your teleportation ability to float on from a ledge onto the rooftop of another building, and then from that building up onto another ledge. And like, sometimes it's not very clear what you're supposed to do. Sometimes it is. Some of the puzzles were clever. I had to do one of those word puzzles where basically I was faced with like a saw trap type situation where the person who kidnapped me said, "Solve my puzzle, and then sit back in the chair. If you're right, the door to freedom will open. If you're wrong, you'll get electrocuted." And
Jesus Christ.
The puzzle was one of those things where you have four 4 pictures, and each one has an animal on it, and you have to decide the order they go in. And it was one of those story puzzles where you have to go around and talk to all the characters, and they each tell you something different. They'll say the bird the bear likes to sit next to the bird but doesn't like to sit next to the fox, and they'll say the rabbit avoids the fox but likes the bear. The fox always sits on the right. So you have to use all of these word clues put together to figure out the order the animals go in. I fucking dominated it in one try. It was super easy, but I felt so smart about it. I love those I love those kind of things. So that was fun. There were some good parts, but overall, like, I was leaning between a 6 or 7 out of 10, so I think I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6.5. Yeah, I would. It would have been a 7, but the fucking game lost an entire point for that jump that haunt you for the rest of the game jump scare bullshit. Once or twice is fine. They could punish you for it there, but whoever's bright idea it was to make that thing attached to you for the rest of the game and randomly jump out for 2 seconds to take down half of your health bar and disappear again like a little snot-nosed coward, whoever did that shit needs to boil in the boiler room of hell. Because that is the dumbest fucking game mechanic. I like jump scares that are done well, and it's going to get some good reactions out of me. This game is getting its own reaction compilation. I promise you that. Because every single time that thing popped up, I was in the middle of saying something, and my words transferred into a loud scream. Every single time. And then every single time I'm like, I fucking hate this. I hate that thing. I'm mad. At one point I was going to do a side quest near the end of the game. I shit you not. I'm like, okay, we're near I'll go do this real quick. That fucking thing popped up. I got mad, changed my mind, turned around and went to the end of the game. I said, you know what? No, fuck this side quest. Fuck this game. I want to be done with it. I'm going to the end. So that's how much
6.5. That's not high praise.
Well, it's not low praise either, because what people tend to forget is that 6 is actually on the good side of the scale. It's just on the lowest side of good. You know? Yeah. So, like, if this was like Aaron Dicer's Sif Pop podcast, where like they describe it as what is it, like, loved it, liked it, just okay, didn't like it, hated it, I would put this one under just okay, if we're gonna put it that way. Okay. But I would put it on on the low side of just okay.
Right. Okay.
Maybe actually I would put it on the high side of just okay, maybe the low side of liked it. See, that's not too bad. You know.
Right.
Because I would say high side of okay, because it's a 6.5, not a 7, but 7 would be like the low side of liked it. You know what I mean? So that's how they say it. So it's better if I word it that way, put a little sugar on it. But the reality of it is anything above a 5 is a passing grade. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
6 is okay. 7 is good. 8 is great. 9 is fantastic or amazing, and 10 is perfect. But then, like, 5 and below are all bad. It's just a matter of how bad they are. That's the area reserved for the shit games.
Fair enough.
If it gets a 6 or higher, then that means I liked it. It's just a matter of how much I liked it. You have to be bad. You have to be a game I don't like at all to get a 5 or lower. So, like Gollum.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like Gollum.
Yeah, which I heard, by the way, that new King Kong game is actually worse than Gollum. So
really,
yeah, not good for that one. So,
damn.
But anyways, that's my review of Bendy and the Dark Revival, and hopefully the gameplay footage that I put on screen for the people watching the video version of this emphasized some of my complaints.
Fair. Okay.
It's not bad, but it's not great either.
Fair. All right, I've been listening to this podcast a lot lately. Actually started from episode 1. They are currently on episode 432. So I've got a lot of catching up to do. But this podcast, it's a true crime comedy podcast. I know I've mentioned it uh at the time of this recording. I'm not gonna. I think I may have mentioned it once before. I don't remember, but they it is hosted by James Petricalo and his co-host Jimmy Wisman. They are stand-up comedians. They enjoy true crime. They make
What's
jokes.
This called?
It's called Small Town Murder. Small Town Murder.
Oh, okay.
Small Town Murder. Yeah, it's actually Sarah turned me on to this podcast, and I resonate with it because they make jokes about whatever town they're doing a story on, and then they make jokes at the killer's expense. And they also go out of their way to not make jokes about the victims or the victims' families, because according to according to their disclaimer, they are assholes, not scumbags. And Jimmy's got the easiest job of all because he doesn't know about the stories at all going into the recording. James actually reads the story, and all Jimmy has to do is react, and it's hilarious. And his responses are fucking priceless. And they've got a Patreon too, where they have like all the bonus episodes and stuff. But not only do they have it's Small Town Murder bonus episodes, they also have bonus episodes from their OG podcast, Crime and Sports. So whenever you subscribe to their Patreon, not only do you get Small Town Murder, but you get Crime and Sports as well. And with that, you also get a shout out at the end of all of the regular episodes, where you can get where you can listen to wherever you get your podcast needs. I personally choose Apple Podcasts.
Wherever you're listening to this one.
Exactly, wherever you're listening to this one. Even
YouTube?
Even YouTube, yeah. Well, I don't know if they're on YouTube.
Okay.
They are on YouTube. On YouTube. Okay, perfect. Yeah, they are on YouTube. I don't know if their full episodes are on YouTube or what. But I've not gotten that far. I have not checked out their YouTube pages yet.
Okay.
But I will get back to you on that. And the regular episodes are typically about like 2.5 hours, maybe close to 3 hours sometimes. And then you got the express episodes where it's just where they don't give the disclaimer or any of that, or they don't do the shout outs at the end either. But it's all the regular episodes. And I did a thing. And I put as I did a thing. The name on my profile, and the name that Jimmy reads at the end is Nick and Sarah Ludlow.
Oh, snap.
Yes. And I was worried that he was going to horribly mispronounce my last name, but I was sorely mistaken. He actually pronounced it. He pronounced it clear as day, perfectly.
Yeah, Nick Lodell. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, true crime is kind of adjacent to horror, so that
I mean,
segues in
okay,
segues
so
in nicely from what I was talking about.
the whole reason I like these guys so much is because is because uh I try to bring light to every situation by making jokes when when it's appropriate, or appropriate jokes for every dark situation. And that's what these guys do. They just do it on a more public platform.
Sounds like good stuff. I
It's hilarious. And also they have a new podcast titled Your Stupid Opinions. It is basically they go on Google and they read off different different reviews for different products, locations, and businesses and stuff like that. Like they even went as far as doing a review. They read the reviews on the chin dildo, the accommodator from AdamandEve.com. It was fucking hilarious.
love when podcasts like do like skits for their ad reads instead of just doing like
Mm-hmm.
like a normal ad read. Distractable does that too. It's pretty good. So, how far into this are you so far? Like, how many episodes in?
Oh, dude. So I've been listening for several weeks now. I just recently started from episode 1, but I've been
Mm-hmm.
listening as they've been putting new episodes out as well. Dude, they're so funny. They go through and they talk about the town first, or James talks about the town first. Jimmy reacts, and then they talk about like the different the percentages of the different races in the city, the religion, the and then they talk about population, the population of the town, and they also do the real estate report and what would it cost to buy a house if you were thinking about moving to said town.
Okay.
And then they get into the nitty gritty and they talk about a murder. But the my favorite part is when, because the name of their website is shutupandgivememurder.com.
Okay.
That's their website, shutupandgivememurder.com. They have all of their merch and shit there. It's fucking awesome. Um and then oh shit. They right before they get into the nitty gritty, they go, "Shut up and give me murder." It's hilarious. It's fantastic. I always look forward to those moments in that, and just in the podcast. It's hilarious.
Okay. Okay. The reason I asked how far in you were is because they say that every podcast has its like, or even like certain TV shows that you don't have to watch the episodes in order, like Sunny. They all have um their gotcha episode, their entry point episode. I think like the episode that you tell people to watch or listen to
Uh huh.
get them on board as new fans, and then if they like that, then they can go back and start from the beginning. I think like
I would say
for our show, it's the 2022 year in review episode. I think
yes.
that's the entry point episode. That's the one that I tell people to start with, like for Dead Meat, for example, it would be like literally any of their review episodes for a horror movie that you've seen. Like just pick any horror movie, and if they did an episode about that, listen to that one. That's where you start. Like that's
Okay.
that, or
So
I would recommend
I
their they did one where they talked about saw traps based on real life torture devices.
I would say, okay, if you have a sense of humor where, or like if you have a dark sense of humor, I would say the perfect episode to start from and this episode was recent, so this is going to be more of the recent shit. It was posted 4 days ago, and the title of the episode is "My Daddy Brother Did It, Clayton, Georgia."
Okay.
This is the description is: this week in Clayton, Georgia, a family with a violent criminal history seems to explode over some very unconventional relationships, jealousy, and custody battles. This results in one of the strangest marriages that causes much drama within the family. One day it explodes in a frenzy of violence and some of the most ridiculous escape attempts ever, super casual police work, and a family destroyed. Along the way, we find out that having the longest beard in Georgia can earn you a prize, that a 64-ounce bottle of ketchup is a strange weapon, and you should never be someone's daddy brother. Hosted by James Petrogallo and Jimmy Wisman.
Having a long beard in Georgia can also earn you a TV show on A&E.
You're not wrong. Oh my god! But no, yes, that's by far the perfect episode to start from. If you're looking for a new podcast to listen to, I highly recommend it. It's fucking hilarious. I listened to it at work and I was dying.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of things that are funny, I watched a comedy movie recently. Also something that I did today, like literally the last thing I did before we started recording this, I watched this movie, and that movie is Barbie. And,
okay.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna wait for it to hit max.
I've heard so many good things about it, so I decided to check it out. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, more celebrity people in there than I thought. I didn't know Michael Cera was in this movie. That was
I know John Cena made a cameo in there because one of the more recent pay-per-views, The Miz actually took a jab at John Cena at I think it was Payback. He made that comment. He took a stab at John Cena for making a cameo in the Barbie movie. It's actually kind of funny.
So this movie is pretty fucking funny. It's very meta. It's very self-aware. It's very tongue-in-cheek. The basic idea here is that like there's two worlds. There's our world and then there's the Barbie world, and all of these Barbies and Kens live in the Barbie world, and they are legitimate plastic toys. You know, they're being played by people, but like, it's what they look like in the kid's imagination in this world.
Okay,
one of them, the main one, Margot Robbie, starts to become a bit self-aware, and there's some very interesting tie-ins later with the story for like why things actually kick off the way they do. At first, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but like when they reveal certain things later, it's like, oh wow, that's really cool. The way that they do it is actually very interesting. So, and some very good messages in there, but essentially one of the Barbies starts becoming a little too self-aware and travels with a Ken into the real world to kind of like find answers. While they're in the real world, the Ken sees that things are different here, and he likes how different the things are, and he kind of brings some of that back with him to the Barbie world, and bad things happen. So that is basically all I can really say without spoiling anything, but it is like it's why it gets pretty wild. It deals with this whole like you know, there's a portal between the two worlds and other weird shit like that. But I'm
excited to see this.
It's part Lego movie, part Toy Story, you know.
I could get down on that.
It's very well done. There's a lot of innuendo. Will Ferrell is in it too, as the CEO of Mattel. Like I said, they break the fourth wall. They break the fourth wall a lot in this movie, like a lot. So like there are points where they even point out that it is a movie, you know. There's a narrator played by Helen Mirren. It's all very. Kate McKinnon is in this. Is like the weird Barbie with the messed up hair and crayon drawings on her face. Yeah, it's fun. It's a very fun movie, but it's also a very loud movie. And I don't mean that like audio wise. I mean that in like it's very in your face. Like the message is very aggressive. And not like negative aggressive, but like it's not subtle. But
Fair enough.
I don't think that's a bad thing. This is a very loud and proud, very feminist movie, very forward thinking, very progressive movie, and
Okay.
it is not subtle at all. It in fact it couldn't possibly get more on the nose if the characters like reached out of the screen, grabbed you by the shoulder, shook you, and yelled the lines in your face. Like it's very very much like that, but I don't think that's a bad thing because I think honestly,
No.
with the way that things have gone in the world lately, and the lack of intellect that we seem to be seeing lately, I think the time for subtlety has gone out the window, and I think some messages need to be more loud and aggressive like this.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
on top of that, the movie is also very pink, which is a very loud color.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So there's that too. And and everyone's wearing like tie-dye shit. The point where Barbie and Ken come into the real world, everything around them is like more like the way that they film the visuals, like in the Barbie
Mm.
world, everything is like vibrant and pink and plastic and shit. When they get to the real world, everything just becomes like gray and ugly. Except for them.
Yeah.
They're still vibrant and beautiful, and everyone else looks like shit.
Okay.
It's a very good like visual juxtaposition that they do. It's a very well filmed movie. They did a good job with this. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I don't really have any complaints. Maybe some of the jokes didn't land for me every now and then, but I'm sure they'd land for other people. They appeal
Right.
to all kinds of different humor here. One thing I do like though, they called out, and obviously Mattel was a part of this, so
Yeah.
there's some self-deprecation here. They make fun of themselves for some of their more problematic Barbie toys that have since been discontinued.
Okay.
Like real ones that actually actually existed, that
Mm.
were like, why were these a thing? And they even do some deep cuts. Like there's a reference to Barbie's little sister Skipper in here. Like,
Okay.
yeah. There's some deep cuts, and like the credits, if you watch the credits, they show the real life versions of all of these Barbies that were in the movie, like the actual toys. Um
Okay.
and
Nice.
including the discontinued ones. Yeah.
Nice.
Like not a single one of these in the movie, as far as I can tell, was made up. All these characters are based off actual real life dolls that actually existed at one point or another.
That's
And
awesome.
so they did a lot of research. The movie kind of weirdly opens a door for a potential like Hasbro or Mattel type like toys universe. Like you can see like Transformers and shit, all that.
I'm telling you, bro.
I'm not
We're on
sure
the cusp of it.
I'm not sure if I want to see that happen though. But this movie stood fine on its own legs. Like it was
There was a
very well
fucking
done.
there was oh man.
Um,
No, dude, the very ending of the most recent Transformers movie did that same shit. They opened it up for like
oh
a
yeah,
crossover.
yeah. You talked about that. So this I really enjoyed this movie, loud message and all. I thought it was like this is one of those movies that's like not afraid to piss off certain people with how loud it is, And I like that. It's got attitude, It's
Yeah.
very in your face about it. It's
I'm excited to see it.
yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. There's a lot of innuendo in there too that's like right up your alley.
Okay.
So yeah, just it's fun stuff like that. Yeah, I
So
liked it. I would give it probably an 8 out of 10, not because that it's did anything wrong. There's no deduction of points here. There's just like not enough there to boost it higher. It's
fair
good.
enough.
It's good, but it's not like one of those like cinematic masterpieces that are going to be like in the history museums. It's like, again,
Right.
when I
Yeah.
when I think nines and tens, I think like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, shit that's gonna be like ingrained in movie history forever.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really good movie and quite a big deal, but not quite a 9. Definitely an 8 though. Like it's a solid 8 out of me for that one.
Okay.
So, yeah, I
All
enjoyed it
right.
very much.
So yeah, that Disney, like you said earlier, is celebrating their 100th year anniversary, and one thing that Disney Plus did in honor of that, they put out a Disney short. It's about 15 minutes long. It's called Once Upon a Studio. I watched
Ah, yeah.
this. I watched this and I the one thing that caught my attention the most, and I had to do a double take. I had to rewind it because I didn't believe it. Disney went into the archives. They got his family's permission first, but they brought back the voice of Robin Williams for the genie with archived recordings never before heard. Because if you remember, like any Disney fan knows that they had hundreds of hours of unused material that they had recorded by Robin Williams. And the fact that they did this, it was mind blowing. Honoring the man that made the genie popular. I couldn't have asked for more, and they fucking delivered, man.
That's yeah. I watched this too, and that was pretty cool. Used what unused audio from, because when he recorded for the genie, they just kind of let him riff, and they
Yeah,
just
they did.
recorded everything he said, and then they used their favorite parts in the movie.
Yep.
But yeah, so just a lot of improv. Yeah, that short was really well done because you got all these different animation styles meshing together, old and new, and like the way they were put together was nice. Now,
it was the original animation too, which made it that much more special.
Yeah, so there was so I was gonna say what they did with this was really cool because it is a mixture of new content and reused assets put together. Because they did freshly animate some of these scenes and freshly record some of these voice lines specifically for this short. But if you pay attention, you can tell that some of the voice lines and some of the animation is stock footage and stock audio from the original movies.
Yes.
Like Peter Pan, all of his movements and all of his audio is from his original movie. They did not record new stuff for that, you can tell.
No.
You know?
Sure.
But like some characters like Maui, he got new lines specifically for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I noticed that they did a little of old, a little of new. I imagine it was easier to get some voice actors than others, like Jodie Benson is Ariel.
Jodie Benson.
They can still get her. They can get James
native.
Woods for Hades.
Yep. Speaking of James Woods, I really hope that they get him to do the live action role of Hades whenever they do the fucking live action remake of Hercules. Same with Danny DeVito as Phil.
There were some pretty funny visual gags in this. Some of my my favorite moments were all the Dalmatian puppies watching Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia and then getting jump scared by Chernobyl.
Yes, yep, that was pretty funny.
After Flynn Rider warns them, he's like, "Come on, puppies, you'll have nightmares."
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I think that was him anyway.
I think that was Flynn Rider. Yeah.
Then there's the part with Donald Duck and all the others on the elevator, and then the sloth tells them to hold it for him.
Yeah, the
DMV sloth from Zootopia.
Yep, Zootopia.
Yeah. That was one of my favorites. One of my favorite visual gags, and then the part where Anna's like, "Do you think all the villains will show up?" And Elsa's like, "Not all of them," and then freezes Hans in the painting.
Yep.
That was fun. Like, all of that, like, so many, like, blink and you'll miss it references. Like,
definitely.
Literally everyone was there, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, this short was stacked.
Yeah, I also like the visual of Ichabod Crane from the Sleepy Hollow cartoon.
Yes.
With, like, Goofy almost knocking his head off with the ladder in a direct reference to, you know, the Headless Horseman.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of clever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was just very well done, the whole thing. And then the fact, like, they fixed the camera using, like, magic and Fix-It Felix's hammer that can fix anything from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
So yeah, that was man, that whole thing was so well put together. And like for 15 minutes, like they put like, you know, they had like a lot of work had to have gone into that.
Oh, absolutely. They had to have been preparing for that shit.
Yeah. There's definitely like a lot of animation, a lot of voice acting, a lot of like digging up old assets and splicing them in and mixing them with the rest of the audio, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm actually pulling up Disney Plus right now. I'm actually trying. They have an entire collection on Disney Plus dedicated to Disney 100.
Nice.
I think recently they added all of the OG Air Bud movies to Disney Plus in honor of Disney 100. And recently I was just saying, you know, they should really add the OG Air Bud movies to Disney Plus.
I was gonna say, how many references in all did you catch in there? Like, I saw Robin Hood, Moana, obviously Mickey Mouse, Peter Pan, Dalmatians, The Princess and the Frog, Frozen.
Yeah, there was a lot, dude.
Aladdin, Zootopia, Tangled.
Did you see?
Oh yeah,
Did you happen to see Did you happen to see any of the characters from the Black Cauldron?
I did not. I thought maybe, like, I think you'd have to go back and look at the whole thing frame by frame, but I just remembered there's a scene where Kaa gets the shit smacked out of him by Rapunzel with the frying pan.
Yep.
It happens off screen, but it's funny, because I can't remember who it is, but he's hypnotizing somebody at that point, and Mickey's like, you need to stop that, and Rapunzel's like, I got it, Mickey, and then off screen you just hear klong.
The one thing that got
the Jungle Book, so that's the Jungle Book.
The one thing that got me was when Mickey stopped to look at the picture of Walt Disney. That's what really got me. Like that hit me right in the feels.
I had a different vibe on that one. I was like, are we going? I mean, I know that he started all this, but how much admiration are we going to put on a guy who was, kind of a anti-Semite?
That's a fair point.
But then I had to laugh because when the camera zoomed in on Walt's picture, just the face he was making for some reason kind of cracked me up. It was a little derpy.
Fair enough.
But no, I got the sentiment that they were going for, and that was kind of nice. I also like how in the beginning, when the two employees are leaving the intern and the old guy, it's like a visual representation of the different generations.
Yeah, I like that.
Like old and new. Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah,
well, definitely. That. Yeah, people need to watch that short. It was very well done. It was like,
oh, absolutely.
If you have any love for that, like, I mean, it gave me House of Mouse vibes, but definitely,
oh yeah, definitely. Yep. Absolutely.
But okay, well, with that being said, what a perfect thing to segue into our topic with, which also happens, like I said, to be Disney. All right, folks, and here we are. We have arrived once again at the topic of the episode, which this time is all about Disney to go along with their 100-year celebration. So many things we could talk about, but I think let's start simple. Let us pick our, not in any particular order, what are your top 5 Disney animated movies, in-house studios? So Pixar counts too.
Okay.
But everything from,
I was gonna say
everything from Snow White all the way to whatever the newest thing was. I don't.
Oh shit!
What was the?
I only get 5. The newest animated. I think the last
was that Elemental?
Movie... Yeah, Elemental.
Okay, yeah.
I believe it was Elemental.
Everything from Snow White to Elemental. Boom, 5. Your 5 favorites.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
Yeah,
I have a lot of favorites.
That's a lot to pick from.
I have a lot. Oh my god, that's not fair.
Yeah, we will get a chance to talk about all of them, but for now, let's narrow it down to our top 5 and start with those.
Oh
with those.
Man. Animated. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Let me go to
I can say for sure 2 of mine are Aladdin and Hercules.
Aladdin and Hercules. I'd have to...
Yeah, I would definitely put those up there. I'd say Aladdin, Hercules, I say I challenged myself here too.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to say Robin Hood.
Robin Hood?
Like the one with the fox. You would think I would say the Aristocats. I like that one, but I think it's more top 10 than top 5 for me.
Okay, so I'd have to say... Okay, so from my time, I'm looking at...
I mean, I've seen all of them, so I was just going off the whole
Yeah,
list.
so have I, but I'm looking... Oh, man. I'm looking at the list here. Oh, my God. So many good movies.
Yeah, I know. It's tough, but I'm definitely going with Aladdin, Hercules, Robin Hood, Atlantis: The Lost Empire, and ooh, do I want to pick Emperor's New Groove?
I was actually gonna list that as one of mine.
I'll let you have it then. Well, I mean, there can be repeats. It doesn't have to be completely different.
Fair, okay. How many do you have so far?
Oh, I have 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah, Aladdin, Hercules, Atlantis, and Robin Hood.
For me, it would be Aladdin, Lion King, Tarzan, mainly because of the soundtrack. The Emperor's New Groove, and Lilo and Stitch.
Ooh,
the OG Lilo and Stitch.
Good choices. So I'm a bit torn for my 5th one. I kind of want to pick Zootopia. I kind of want to pick. There's a couple of good options. Actually, part of me wants to lean even like Fantasia.
That was my dad's number 1 favorite.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to go. I'm just kind of like digging through my memory. Memorable, good list. Man, part of me even wants to say Big Hero 6 here.
Ba la la la.
Yeah, it's a good one. Ooh, it's a toughie.
We jumped out a window.
Yeah. But no, I set the precedent, so I have to pick eventually. So I got Aladdin, Hercules, Robin Hood, Atlantis. That's Atlantis is an obscure choice, I know, but and Yeah, I kind of want to put a newer Encanto. Let's go with that one because
Okay.
I really liked that one. I'm not even gonna lie.
En-
Like, it was,
Encanto was good. I
yeah,
liked it. There was a lot of catchy songs in it, and I liked the
yes,
story.
yes, yes. So, um, okay, so those would be like in our top five. Those are even like really good ones. So let's focus on the the older side of things first. Let's talk
All right.
about some of the classic Disney movies, most memorables. The one like some of our favorites. Like I think
Well,
the very first one
the
was
very
Snow White. They
yep,
did
the very first that
yeah
came out in, let's see, hold on, 1937.
yep they did a
I'm looking
lot
at
of princess
I'm look
movies.
I'm looking at it right now on Disney Plus.
And I've seen all of these: Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, all that shit. And all
Bambi.
the second one, yeah, the second one they did after Snow White was Pinocchio,
Yep.
where we got Jiminy Cricket. I think it was actually a while before Peter Pan because Jiminy Cricket and Tinkerbell are both iconic Disney characters.
The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad came out in 1949.
Yeah, so that was a fun one because that was like a double feature. You had Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and then Ichabod: The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Um,
Yep.
was the other side of that. So, let's talk about like the ones we listed as our favorites that are among the older ones too. I think the oldest one I listed was Robin Hood. Now this would be the one with the fox as Robin Hood and the bear that they ended up reusing for Baloo in Jungle Book.
Yeah.
But it was a really good telling of the Robin Hood story. A lot of it is very memorable to me. I still remember the rooster playing the guitar. I still
Yeah.
remember oodalali golly what a day, that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it's a classic tale retold in Disney fashion, like so many of these are, in a way that
Yeah.
is enjoyable. And it's all anthropomorphic animals too, and like the spoiled king is funny, and they have that usual old school Disney slapstick comedy for like the big conflict scene. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but that one I have the Blu-ray of that still sitting neatly on my shelf
Okay.
here. Yeah, nice
Nice.
remastered and restored. Um,
Very nice.
what was the oldest one on your list?
The oldest one on my list. Hold on.
What was your list again?
Mine was Aladdin, Lion King, Tarzan, Emperor's New Groove, and the OG Lilo and Stitch.
So I think the oldest thing on your list has to be either Aladdin or Lion King.
Yeah, I'm looking at. So, Aladdin came out in 1992. The Lion King came out in 1994. So, the
Yep,
oldest thing on my list is Aladdin.
and that one was on my list too. That's an easy one to talk
Yeah.
about.
Oh my god.
Robin
Robin
Williams
Williams.
genie. Yeah.
Yes. Dude. Aladdin. Oh my god. Like, so many.
Based on like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves or whatever, like those actual storybooks from
Yeah.
yeah. I this the yeah, Aladdin had some of my overall favorite like everything, one of my favorite stories, some of my favorite characters, one of my favorite villains, one of my favorite
Mm-hmm.
villain sidekicks, favorite hero sidekicks.
Iago.
Yeah. Like great voice casting. Like very well done animation. Uh
Yes.
yeah,
Now,
especially the parts like with the carpet. Great soundtrack, super memorable soundtrack. Like
absolutely.
phenomenal
Now,
soundtrack.
question. Since we're talking about the older stuff, and this one's just so happens to have a live action remake counterpart, are we allowed to talk about that in this? Or
Yeah,
no?
I
Are
think
we gonna
it.
have
I think
are we
it's
gonna have a
been.
separate segment for the
Well, we
for
did.
the live actions?
We did talk about Disney remakes a bit in our remakes episode that we did back in episode 7 of the show. But
Oh yeah, we did.
comparatively, we can mention it. Yeah, like
Okay.
because
Okay.
the remake of this, some of them original is better, and some of them well, I don't think in any case the remake is better. The original is always better in with the Disney movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Not always the case with everything. There are some horror movies where the remake is better, but
Right.
but like with
Aladdin.
the Disney movies, the animated version is almost always better. But whether or not the remake can live up to it is the question. And in the case of Aladdin, I think it does. I think it's a good
Yeah.
on its own.
It was a good remake on its own. I liked it. I liked the way Will Smith made the role his own and didn't try to replicate what Robin Williams made the genie. Because Robin Williams, he made it his own. I liked it. But that was my biggest.
Ali is he? Na, 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 na. Yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Yes.
No, like that was my biggest concern going into it, and I went into it thinking, okay, he's gonna butcher this, but no, he delivered, and he made it his own. And I think if once I learned to separate the two, I think it made it more it made more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it worked. It was fun. It was an enjoyable watch. But
yeah, it was.
But man, really the original, I can go back and watch that one a million times and never get tired of it.
Oh
definitely a top for me.
Yes.
That one and Hercules, which was also those were the first two I mentioned, and Hercules has always been a great one. James Woods is Hades.
Yep. That was one of my favorites as well.
Another good soundtrack there too.
Hercules. Yes. My all-time favorites. Like, dude, speaking of, I know this is it's still talking about Hercules, but do you remember the Hercules plates that McDonald's had, like the collector's plates?
Yes.
So I
also remember
not...
like the different Disney glasses, like the Beauty and the Beast ones and stuff like that.
Yes. I may or may not have acquired the entire collection of Hercules plates within the last year.
Oh wow, okay.
So after my stepdad's mom passed away, my dad and my stepdad were going through their stuff because my stepdad's dad had passed away back in 2016. So both of his parents are gone. So they're going through their stuff, and my dad messages me and he said, "Hey, do you remember the Hercules plates that you had when you were a kid?" I said, "Yes." "Would you like the entire collection, courtesy of Grandma and Grandpa Bunch?" I said, "Yes, please. I would absolutely love that, and I would absolutely put them on display when I can."
Nice.
Like I have the entire collection, and it's those plates aren't going to get used. No, not by any means. Those are going to go on display for like memorabilia purposes.
Okay. Yeah, I think you might have told that story before, but what a better place to retell it than on the Disney episode.
Exactly.
So Hercules was always a good one because the phenomenal James Woods acting and stuff, but this was also like the time when Disney was starting to mix a little bit of CGI into their hand-drawn animation. Like that battle with the Hydra had some computer shit behind it.
Sure
and
did.
It was very well done, I think.
Yeah, it was
interesting mixes. This movie is also what got me into Greek mythology, which in turn is what led me to getting into the God of War games down the line.
There you go.
Because they started in Greek mythology before they moved to Norse. So,
Yep.
But yeah, that was oh man, I love the original animated Hercules.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
you had Aladdin. You said
Lion King.
Lion King. Yeah,
The
let's talk
Lion
about that
King.
one.
Oh my god, I absolutely loved The Lion King. Very memorable soundtrack. One of my absolute favorite soundtracks of Disney history.
Mm-hmm. Can't Wait to Be King, Hakuna Matata, Circle of Life. Like, those songs are known by name.
Like, because Elton John, for crying out loud, did the soundtrack of the songs that were, like, just not necessarily the soundtrack itself, but the entire soundtrack.
Okay. Yeah, it very well done.
Elton John, yeah. No, Elton John was the big draw for me.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's a beautiful soundtrack, and it definitely stands out the most in the "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" song.
Yes, absolutely.
Or the also known as the two lions that are possibly siblings shag in the moonlight song.
Yeah, that. Yep.
So many good songs in that movie, though. Like, every song in that movie is a banger. I can't say I love every song in every Disney movie, but The Lion King is probably the one where I can say every last single goddamn one of them is good. Like, not a single bad song in the whole movie. Not even. I shouldn't even word it like that, because none of them really have bad songs, quote unquote. Not a single song in the movie that I don't like. I like all of them in this one. In that one.
Fair. Yeah,
did you know The Lion King is based on Hamlet?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the story of The Lion King is based on Hamlet. Same story, basically.
Speaking of, I know that the writers' strike stopped, or the writers' strike and or the Screen Actors Guild strike.
Writers' strike resolved. Actors' strike still going.
Okay, actors' strike.
At the time of recording this.
Okay. It's prevented it from being even started. The Mufasa movie that they've been talking, that Disney's been talking about.
I don't know if I want that. I feel like it'd be hard to do without James Earl Jones, and then they're just gonna Darth Vader it and do it with AI. You know?
Yeah,
which is kind of like what these strikes are all about in the first place.
Yeah.
Partly, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Some they do better. I just want to see them keep adding more new original stories to their lineup. They don't need to keep doing like it's Lion King is too old to keep going back to it at this point. Like, you know. Keep some things just need to stay in the vault.
Yeah.
But Lion King is definitely one of the better ones. A lot of likable characters, and there's some great voice acting, too, from all the characters. Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane.
Yes.
Jeremy Irons. So many good ones. James Earl Jones. All that fun stuff. So, okay. So The Lion King is one of the ones you mentioned. I mentioned Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which I find to be that
was a good one.
Underrated. I find it underrated. I don't think it's popular enough in the mainstream Disney eye. I don't think it got the attention it deserved. Very underrated. So, if I remember correctly, in this movie, the main character, Milo Thatch, was played by Michael J. Fox.
I believe so.
But yeah, this was like about the expedition team that were going to find the lost city of Atlantis, and they were led by him because he was the like researcher, and you had like the tough muscle guy and the explosions guy. I remember him. He's like, "Hi, I'm Vinny. I do the kabooms." You know. Like,
yes.
Then you had the creepy little mole guy that did the digging, and he always talked like this, like some kind of Igor creature.
He was a Frenchman. He was French.
Yeah. And then there was, like, the tomboy girl that was the mechanic.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great cast of characters in that one. Really good animation. Very cool like action set pieces in that one. Um, I think that one is like completely underrated. And speaking of ones that are kind of underrated, you had The Emperor's New Groove on your list.
Yes, I did.
David
I
Spade and
love
John
David
Goodman.
Spade. Yes, these two together are fucking hilarious.
It was Disney's first attempt at like an animated, like full on comedy, right? Like full, like you know,
Yeah. No, wait.
because some of
Animated comedy. You said animated comedy.
yeah, like like a movie that is like full on comedy, like
You threw
advertised
off my
as a
groove.
like advertised as a comedy. Yeah, because like
Yeah.
all of their movies leading up to that, they all had comedy in them, but they weren't advertised as comedies. This one was.
Right. It sure was.
Some great memes came out of this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
There is like I think it's gotten like more of a resurgence in more recent years with the internet, but when it first came out, I don't think it got like the attention it really deserved, you know.
No.
I think it was too different for people that were used to Disney's original style of other,
Yeah.
up till that point. It was something out of the box for them. But it was a risk that paid off, I think. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It's a funny movie. Just some of the visual gags too, like when they're during the final fight when they're trying the different potions and keep switching animals that they are, um, and just other stuff like that. Kronk, played by Patrick Warburton,
Yep.
is probably the best part of the whole movie. Honestly,
Yes.
like he is. Like Patrick Warburton is Kronk. Like there's no
Yeah, no,
yeah
no.
like
One of my favorite parts in the movie that had me absolutely dying was the squirrel.
oh
The
yeah, Kronk
squirrel,
and the
yeah.
squirrel.
And then the squirrel that like threatened to pop the balloon. He popped the balloon near close by all of the sleeping jaguars. And then it didn't even wouldn't wake him up. It was when Kuzco went, ha. That's what woke up the fucking jaguars, and that was I fucking died.
That movie did have a good message about
It
being
did.
a smarmy rich asshole. Like
Yeah, it did.
he kept getting screwed over by his own hubris. It was funny to see. I mean, everyone learned a nice lesson in the end too, but it was cool to see that. I think one of my favorite scenes is like the diner scene where everyone keeps near missing each other in like a sitcom type of way. You know, and they're like all there at the same time. They don't even realize it's them. Like,
right.
Yeah. Like when one puts the menu down, the other one puts their menu up, so they don't see each other.
Right.
Yeah, it was like some Three Stooges type shit, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was into it. That one was definitely one of my favorites. Let's see. Robin Hood, Aladdin, Hercules, Atlantis. What else is there? Oh, Encanto. Yeah, that was one of mine. Jumping way into the more recent ones. That one's from a couple years ago. I think that one just had like a really good message that probably hit home for a lot of people. Like, there's at least one character in that movie that's relatable to everyone. And like it's this like new phase of Disney where instead of classic cartoon villains, the villain is like family trauma in a lot of their movies. And like it makes for really good storytelling, but also that movie had a banger soundtrack. I still listen to the Strong Girls song, Surface Pressure, like all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, when I thought it was really good. And I know the Bruno song is an earworm that gets stuck in people's heads, and it's a good song.
We don't talk about Bruno, no.
Yeah, I think it's a good song that got memed to hell. It almost got Let It Go'd. You know what I mean?
It sure did.
But
it almost got the Let It Go treatment.
But it came just close of going too far. But it stopped while it was ahead. But
yeah,
but I personally think Surface Pressure is the better song, honestly. Like, just because of the message in it. It's not built like as good, it's not like as melodious, but that's intentional, it's not really meant to be. It's meant to be more hard hitting because of the song is supposed to feel like it's weighing down on you the same way the character feels the responsibilities weighing down on them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very well done in that aspect. Um, and that movie overall, just great message, great visuals.
Oh yeah,
what was your fifth one again? What?
Lilo and
It
Stitch.
that's right. Yeah, Lilo and Stitch. Yes. Which
This is.
we talked about a lot recently with the multimedia episode
Oh my god,
and
yeah.
how
Oh, dude.
Lilo and Stitch basically spawned off their own version of Pokemon. But
Pretty much. Yeah.
so cool. 600 and wait, 626 experiments. Got to find them all.
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch was awesome. That movie didn't really have its own original soundtrack, though, did it? It had more of. I mean, they had some in-universe songs, but a lot of that movie soundtrack was like actual songs plastered over the movie, right?
Uh there was Hawaiian roller coaster ride.
Yeah, yeah, they had some. I remember
Yeah.
because I remember Stitch playing the ukulele and shit.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of Elvis in there too.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'd like. So when I so like there's a difference between like original songs and licensed songs in a movie, and like
Yeah.
the original songs is when they write a new song for that movie specifically, but they used a lot of licensed songs in that one, or they did covers of it because it was already existing Elvis music.
Yeah.
um but still a great one. Lilo and Stitch, very beautiful animation in that one.
Oh my god,
um
yes. Some of the funniest
Very
moments
fun
in come
story, yeah, it's
some of
funny.
the funniest moments in Disney history have come from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, you say so, huh? Um,
Yes.
yeah. So, what do you see your favorite parts of that movie?
Oh my god. I'm no, that was not in this one. I think that was Lilo and Stitch 2. I
They're
don't
starting
know.
to blend together, huh?
Yeah, no, cuz man, I'd have to say any and all scenes that had Stitch in them. I'm not even gonna lie. It's any and all scenes that had Stitch was my favorite parts of the movie.
Fair
And
enough.
that's pretty much all of the movie.
Yeah. Every Disney movie's got like the one standout character that you really like. Like Genie's got Aladdin, or Aladdin's got Genie. I mean, um,
Yeah.
you know, um, Lilo and Stitch has Stitch, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always like that one comic relief character that everyone walks away from the movie remembering more than anything else. You know?
Pleakley.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if he would be the first thing I remember from that movie, but he's definitely funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, him and Jumbo, who was the original villain, and then the villain got switched over to Gantu about halfway through the movie. And
Jumba
Gantu,
Jukiba.
I like Gantu, Kevin Michael Richardson playing Gantu, who
Yep.
fun fact, also played the voices of Rollo and Lester, the redneck neighbor in the Cleveland show.
Okay.
Yep, yep. No, wait, he didn't play Rollo. He played Cleveland Jr. and Lester. Rollo was played by Mike Henry, who also played Cleveland on that show.
Yeah.
Um, but, anyways, yeah. Let's kind of dive a little bit. So let's look at what I'll call different sections of the Disney eras, if you will.
I was gonna say because we last landed on Stitch, I think that would be a perfect segue to talk about the Disney parks because there is a ride called I forget it was the this
oh, say anything and everything you need to about the Disney parks. The stage is yours for this part because I have not been to any of them, so I basically have no input.
Okay, so this. Okay, so it was called Stitch's Great Escape, and you go in, and you're basically basically a recruit to help capture experiment 626, and there was some original like they had the voice actor that did Stitch do like original like dialogue for this ride, and it was fucking hilarious. And it's like,
Nice.
like in like the movie where there's like there they say they see that that he landed on planet Earth. Well, in the ride, it zooms in a little bit further to Orlando, Florida, which just so happens to be where Walt Disney World is. And it's amazing. It's awesome.
Okay. Let's let's narrow it
Uh
down. Let's narrow it down a bit for condensation's sake. Tell us about your three favorite rides or attractions across
oh
the
dude.
Disney theme parks. Your
Dude, there's okay, so I have
top three.
top 3. Can I do top 5?
um, if the Stitch one counts,
Okay. Um
so that leaves room for four.
Pirates of the Caribbean,
Okay.
Rock and Roller Coaster featuring Aerosmith, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, and shit. Ooh. I'm gonna spitball one. The teacups.
I guess you didn't need four slots after all.
I guess not. No, there was no the 3.
So
It
tell
was
us
the
about
3.
these. Tell us. Go more in depth. Walk us through these experiences. Why are they so
Oh
great?
man, dude. So the fucking the Pirates of the Caribbean on its own is a Disney staple. Like fucking this to see how that ride has come along throughout the years is amazing. And the fact that there was 5 movies made from the ride, and when they released the Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, they contemplated Jack Sparrow. They also brought in Davy Jones and a few others. And it's seeing how that ride has evolved from the year that it opened in 1967 to now is amazing. Some would say that it didn't need the updates, but that's your Disney perfectionists. Disney park perfectionists. Let me rephrase that.
Traditionalists.
Disney park traditionalists. Yes. Now, let's see. What was Rock and Roller Coaster featuring Aerosmith. So basically, I know I've talked about this one a lot.
Yeah, you have mentioned this one
no,
before.
this one I don't think. Well, better no, cause so I'll say it again. Like this is like it's basically a super stretched limo ride to an Aerosmith concert with backstage passes. Cause yeah, you go into that room, they got that. I don't know what it is that they use. Is whether it be like they pulling some Star Wars shit, bro, like fucking holograms. But it looks like actual people in that room.
Nice.
They'd be pulling some stuff like Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope. The that kind of shit. Like, oh my god. Like
And
they man, I'm telling you.
the Tower of Terror one, isn't this the one where like the elevator drops?
Yes. And it doesn't just drop, it pulls you down. So if you're not buckled in, your ass is flying to the top of the elevator.
Of course. Wow, that's
it's
crazy. I know about that one.
it's not all the same drops every time. It's random every time. They switch it up.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. I learned that one the hard way.
Well, I don't have Disney parks experience, so I can't say a whole lot about that one. But if
they made a Disney Channel movie out of it, or a Disney made for TV movie out of it.
That I do know. Yeah.
Yeah, that was based on that ride. Yeah.
But if I circle back to the movies and whatnot here, I want to do like a quick not like quick fire, not like rapid fire, but like a snappy.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna mention different categories that different types of Disney movies fall under, and we're gonna say what our favorite movie in each of these categories. And so we'll start with an easy one: Disney princess movies. The favorite princess movie.
Oh shit!
I want to say Sleeping Beauty.
I'll have to say
maybe or Beauty and the Beast.
Mulan.
Does that count?
Yeah. Wait, no, because at the Disney parks, Mulan will tell you she is not a princess. She is a legend.
She's a
legend.
Warrior. I think Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph counts. Tiana from Princess and the Frog, obviously. Okay. Cinderella. Pocahontas does not count. Not a princess. I don't think.
God damn it.
Because
that was gonna be my next one.
Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty.
I have
Snow
to say
White,
I have to say Cinderella because Gus.
Ariel's counts as a princess too.
Yep, I like Gus from Cinderella.
Yeah, Cinderella was a good one. Bippity Boppity Boo and all that. you know, that's definitely an iconic one too.
Yeah, so I have to say Cinderella.
Favorite Disney movie where animals are the main characters. Can be 3D animated, original, it doesn't matter, but the animals are the main focus. Lady and the Tramp, 101 Dalmatians, Bolt, any of that shit. Not Zootopia, not anthropomorphic animals, actual animals are the main focus here.
Ooh.
Mine is the Aristocats.
Okay.
Everybody wants to be a cat. Da-da-da. Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna make me pull out Disney Plus again. Hold on. God damn it.
These should just be able to come to you. Like, you should immediately know what your favorite is.
Bro, like, there's so many.
Yeah, but, like, the first one you think of is most likely going to be your favorite, because it's the first one you thought of. That was usually how those things work.
Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, that's a very good choice. That is a very good choice. A sad
Fox and the
movie, but a
Hound.
good
It's a
one.
sad movie. Yeah, no, definitely sad movie.
Yes.
Sad movie.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Um. Yes. Okay. Um. Most underrated Disney movie. I have
Treasure
to
Planet.
say, I can agree with that one. I also has to say Black Cauldron. Black Cauldron is also severely underrated. But I
Yeah,
agree
no.
with I agree with Treasure Planet as well. That one doesn't get the love it deserves. Did you notice there was a Treasure Planet reference in that Disney 100 thing? He
I
surfed by on the thing,
I
on the
did. I
little
did notice
glider.
that. I did notice that.
So that was kind of cool to see, based
Yeah.
on the pirate story Treasure Island.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Muppets
yeah,
did the Muppet Treasure Island.
yes. Favorite Pixar movie.
Favorite Pixar movie. Now that is a hard one.
Yes, yeah, because there's a lot of good ones. We're thinking Toy Story, Bugs Life, Cars, Finding Nemo,
Oh my
Elemental,
god.
uh, Inside Out. Um, yeah,
Oh my god.
and it gets confusing because all Disney movies are animated like that now, even if
Ah,
they're not Pixar. So sometimes people get them confused. Like Encanto, I don't think was Pixar, but it was Disney. I could be
yeah,
wrong.
it was not Pixar. I don't think so.
Same for no, it was Onward. Onward might have been Pixar.
Onward is Pixar. Onward is
Okay,
Pixar. I'm looking at the list right now.
okay. Yeah, yeah. So,
Oh my god.
Monsters Inc. is Pixar, I think.
It sure is.
Um,
Oh my god.
it's kind of hard. It's
The
kind of
Good
hard
Dinosaur,
to.
The Good Dinosaur was Pixar.
Eh.
Coco was Pixar. I have not seen
Ooh,
Coco. I have not seen
Co-
Coco.
I might have to pick Coco. I forgot that one was Pixar. That one is a tearjerker. That's a tearjerker.
Soul was Pixar. Turning Red was Pixar.
Ah, fuck, Soul's Pixar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a toughie then. I don't know. I might have to stick with the OGs and go with Toy Story on that one. Although
Yeah, I'd have to. No, yeah.
I really like A Bug's Life. You're not
A
gonna
Bug's
lie.
Life was fantastic.
Okay, so on that, you said Toy Story for you too, then?
Toy Story for me too. Yeah, because I've been watching that a lot lately with my daughter.
I'd say Monsters Inc. is a close second for me on
Yeah, I'd
Pixar.
have to agree with that.
Um, okay, on that same note, then, anime or 3D animated Disney movie that's not Pixar that you really like. I guess for me, it would
Oh,
obviously be Encanto was one of them.
Zootopia.
Is Zootopia's not Pixar, right? Or was
No, it
it?
is not. It was
It's
not.
not. Yeah, that's a good one too. That's another good one because they're all 3D animated now. I think that started with Bolt. Bolt was their first non-Pixar 3D animated
I mean,
movie.
I could go back and say take Zootopia back and go one of the OGs. It's not. It's claymation.
Oh, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, that one is claymation. That one, but you could count that in a way because it's not hand drawn.
Right.
Um, their last hand drawn animated movie was The Princess and the Frog, I believe. They
I
had like
believe
kind of
you
a
are correct.
before that one. They had kind of like a downward spiral with some of their animated movies, like Home on the Range wasn't very popular.
I liked
Um,
that one.
yeah, no, I liked it too, but it just wasn't very popular. um,
Right.
they kind of hit their downward spiral there. They
You
hit a
know another an,
renaissance with Frozen and kind of came back after that.
another really good Disney animation film that was recent was Raya and the Last Dragon with Aquafina as
Yeah, I
the
can't.
Last Dragon.
That dragon was in that animated short too. I
Sure
can't.
was.
I can't remember how I felt about that one.
I loved it.
I think I mostly liked it, but I had some issues with some parts of it.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, that one was okay. I liked what was it? Luca was okay too, but there was something else that came out around that time that I thought blew them all out of the water. Now I can't remember what it was. To be honest with you. But I thought Luca was
Luca
pretty
was Luca
good.
was Pixar.
Yeah, Luca is Pixar, not 3D, not non Pixar 3D, but Big Hero 6 would probably be one of my favorite non Pixar 3D animated ones. I
Yeah.
think would probably be one of my choices. I thought Frozen was good too. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that one was pretty good. Like a lot of people, I know it's like overplayed for a lot of people, and they got
It
burnt
is,
out
but
on it. But like,
I'm not going to dismiss that it's a good movie because it is.
and it kicked off the second Disney Renaissance, so
It did.
there's that too. Um, but yeah, Disney had their Renaissance. You remember how like you can tell how old a Disney movie is by its opening credits because a lot of the really old ones like Bambi
Yep.
and 101
Mhm.
Dalmatians and all that, their opening credits used to be like all these like still images with like old English text and like a chorus singing over them, like ah, well, like
Mhm.
silhouettes of animals in the woods and shit. It was
Yep.
almost like weirdly haunting, the openings of some of these. You
Now,
know, it feels like a fever dream.
I want to go back
Dumbo.
to
Dumbo was in that era too. I remember that. I almost forgot about Dumbo. I
you
almost
know
forget about Dumbo.
another classic Disney movie that I still love to this day.
Pink elephants on parade.
A Goofy movie.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
Nothing beats a good old fashioned oh yuck from the
oh my
Goof Story.
God. Oh man, Goofy's my bud. Goofy's
Remember
my
when
bud.
Remember when he used to have those animated shorts that were like instructional videos, and he would always fuck it up. Be like,
Yep. And I think.
how to iron your clothes, and by like the end of it, he swallowed the ironing board or some shit. Like
Yep.
it's so stupid. I love it. Those are the
Yep.
cartoons they used to play on the screen in the House of Mouse.
Yep.
Um, so obviously we can't talk Disney without talking the songs. So let's talk about our favorite Disney songs
I think
from some of
since
these
I
classic
just
movies.
left off on a Goofy movie, I have to start with the Goofy movie soundtrack. Okay, so we've got two of my favorites. I can't just narrow it down to one because these two are done by the in universe pop star Powerline. We've got
Yeah,
Eye to Eye and Stand Out. I'd have to say those are my two favorite songs from this movie.
I remember.
However, it is those two are in major competition on the uh on the open road.
Oh, yep. That's one of the ones I was thinking of.
Mhm.
So let's do like we did with the movies. Let's choose top 5 songs from Disney movies, but a caveat. You get one song from a movie. Once you've picked a song from that movie, you can't pick another one from it.
Okay.
So they all have to be different. Easy ones for me. Be a Man from Mulan.
Okay.
Um, it's a good one. Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Uh, I want to say Friend Like Me from Aladdin
Yep,
is
I have to agree.
probably a good one.
For
Surface Pressure from Encanto. And I think for the last one, it would have to be Everybody Wants to Be a Cat from the Aristocats. Some of
okay.
these are just like memorable lyrics to me. I remember like almost all the words to some of them, not all of them, but like just the way they flow, how fun they are,
Oh
like
yeah.
upbeat, memorable, catchy earworms. Like those would be my 5. That's my pick right there.
Okay, so I'd have to say Hakuna Matata from The Lion King, A Whole New World from Aladdin, Trash in the Camp from Tarzan, more specifically the one that Phil Collins did with NSYNC.
I'm surprised you choose this over You'll Be in My Heart.
I like that one too, but I like the way the the Trash in the Camp with NSYNC sounds. It's all a cappella.
This is slightly off topic, but not entirely. It's just a interesting point. I just have to point out, because it's funny to me, that there was an episode of South Park a while back, the episode where they introduced Timmy, actually, where he joins the rock band, and Phil Collins is in that episode, and they make fun of him in that episode because, I shit you not he didn't do anything to deserve it. They made fun of him in that episode because they were salty that he won a Grammy for that song over them for the song that they did for the South Park movie. And so that's the only reason. And I was like, this is why I say that new South Park is better, because this is like they actually smart jokes now instead of like that. Basically, like they're just mad, so they're like they make fun of. But yeah, okay. So
that was
two
three.
more.
That was three. Two more. I Can Go the Distance from Hercules.
Okay, yeah, good one. I would say Zero to Hero is another good choice for that one.
No, I resonate with I Can Go the Distance. So that one
very
one
good song.
That one hits home for me. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Bare necessities from the Jungle Book. Oh,
Okay,
that's my number one.
I'm glad you said that, because I was actually going to give that one an honorable mention because I didn't think about it. But yeah, that one deserves to look for the bare necessities,
the simple bare necessities.
Yeah. So instead, I'm going to give my honorable mention to because it's not part of my list. It's because I already did Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast. I think that's a fun one.
Yeah.
But I also want to give an honorable mention to No One Talks Like Gaston, No One Walks Like Gaston.
Speaking of Beauty and the Beast, and speaking of
No
Gaston,
one hides in the tall beanstalks like Gaston.
Speaking of Gaston, speaking of Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Back when I don't remember what year it was, but I remember calling in on a radio contest.
Oh.
And it was a trivia question. And the question was, what is the name of Gaston's henchman? I was the first caller to call in and give the correct answer. And I won I don't know if it was one of a kind, but I know it was a special limited edition Christmas ornament. It was gold plate, and it had a silhouette of the beast with the rose.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And that was back before B103 was known as B103, when it was still Light 103.
Well, we're on the topic of Disney music too. I just want to point out two things. One, Fantasia is a fucking phenomenal experience. Like, from start to finish, that
you can't be a Disney fan
art.
And have not seen Fantasia. Fantasia is, oh my god, legendary.
I think just like music enthusiasts should experience that movie too.
Absolutely.
But not only that, but also on the terms of soundtracks, not necessarily in movie songs, but OG soundtracks. The entire soundtrack to Tron Legacy was done by Daft Punk, and that was amazing.
It sure was. I remember seeing Tron Legacy in theaters and IMAX 3D.
Yeah, 3D. That movie probably had to look amazing in 3D.
Oh my god, it sure the fuck did.
The few examples of it doing it right, you know.
It sure the fuck did.
Yeah, because on that note, I do want to talk about a little bit some of the, like, not just animated, but some of the live action stuff too, but not like all of these, like, not these, like, straight to video, like, low budget live action movies like the like the Apple Dumpling Gang and shit like that. I want to talk like the blockbusters, like Pirates of the Caribbean, Chronicles of Narnia. I wouldn't call the original Tron a blockbuster, but I would call it a cult hit. And
Yes.
I think it was way ahead of its time.
Yes.
If I'm being honest. Jeff Bridges, too, in
Mhm.
that. Yeah, great shit. I'm a fan of Tron and Tron Legacy, but also the entire Pirates franchise.
Yes.
More so the first 3 movies.
Yeah.
I think the worst movie in that franchise is the 4th one, if I'm being honest, the one with the mermaids and zombies.
I like that one.
I think they bring it back with the 5th one. My second
Dead
least
Men Tell
favorite
No
is
Tales.
my second least favorite is actually the second movie, Dead Man's Chest.
Oh yes, absolutely. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it?
Like, not to say that it's bad. Not to say that it's bad, but that movie definitely exists to bridge the gap between the first two. It doesn't stand on its own.
No.
It needs my favorite is At World's End, the third one where they have like Jack Sparrow's like mind prison in Davy Jones' locker, and they have like the big epic battle between all the ships at the end.
Yep.
And like I think it has some of the best jokes, some of the best character interactions, some of the best set pieces and action scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's made for a really great level in Kingdom Hearts 3. So
yeah, no shit.
Yeah. So that one is my favorite. Johnny Depp is always great in those. I like the live-action Alice in Wonderland movies by Tim Burton. Johnny Depp is great in those, too. Mm-hmm. The first one more so. The second one was kind of...
You know another one that was really good that Johnny Depp was in? It doesn't get all the attention it should. The Lone Ranger.
Disney?
Yeah, The Lone Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
The Lone Ranger.
Yeah. Well, that's because Arnie Hammer turned out to be a cannibal. So
Jesus fuck.
Not like, that's not. Did you not know
No,
about that?
I didn't.
Yeah, no, the guy who played the Lone Ranger in that movie, turns out he likes the taste of people. So
he's a genuine Hannibal Lecter. Okay.
Yeah, not a great thing to be. So yeah,
Jesus Christ.
So not that quite. Maybe not necessarily on that. I don't think he's going around killing people to get his fix, but he's, I don't think there's any way that you can get human flesh that's considered ethical.
No.
So. But yeah, nope. Johnny Depp was great in that movie too, but like. The role for his character did feel a little stereotypical.
Yeah.
It also felt, because the movie was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer or directed or whatever, it really felt like they were just doing pirates again in the Old West.
Yeah.
It felt like a pirates movie in the Old
West.
It did. It really did. Very similar vibes there. But yeah, I'm trying to think, what are some other... Let's see, we had Narnia. We had, 2 or 3 Narnia movies?
3.
Right? There was at
3.
least 3, yeah.
There was 3.
I keep forgetting
one
about
of
the
them,
third one.
The third one was not Disney.
It wasn't?
No,
okay.
It wasn't. Not originally.
I didn't know that. Is that The Voyage of the Dawn Treader? Is that the third one?
Yes.
Because it's Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then is Prince Caspian the second one?
Prince Caspian was the second one, yes.
Okay, and then The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which at that point, that one's more about their stupid cousin.
Yeah.
And I think the youngest of them goes with him in that one, but the others don't this time.
Yeah.
Because they're too old now. Yeah, I remember that. Those movies skip some of the books.
They did, and from what I've heard, I do believe Netflix will be picking up an original series for the Chronicles of Narnia that follows the chronological order of the books.
Interesting.
I'm really hoping
but
that's true.
I can see why, though, because some of those books I don't think translate very well to movies. Some of them do. Like, the very first book is about the creation of that world.
Yeah.
And it almost reads biblically in a way, and I don't think it would make for a very interesting movie. Like, it would be like watching a movie about watching, basically the Big Bang happen.
Fair point. I'd like to see that.
But the book that comes between Lion Witch in the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian is actually a book about Prince Caspian. It's his origin story.
Yeah.
And it, if I remember correctly, and that one would probably make for a good movie. I can see why they skipped it though, because the movies were focusing on the Pevensies children, not other characters.
Yeah.
It was focusing on Peter and Lucy and them.
One of my favorite characters from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was Mr. Tumnus.
Mr. Tumnus. I agree. Okay, so yeah, we talked about like old Disney, new Disney. I got another good one for you. Who are some of your favorite sidekick or comic relief characters? We talked about like the genie. What are some other good examples? Fred from Big Hero 6
Pumbaa
is probably Pumbaa from Timon and
Pumbaa, yeah.
Mushu from Mulan.
Yes, Mushu,
Eddie
definitely.
Murphy's character.
Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch.
Yes, yep, Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch, I agree. Gantu is also technically comic relief, I think, even though he's the villain.
Yeah.
I think he counts as comic relief in that movie as well. They didn't have too much comic relief in the older ones. I think some of the villains were like 101
I got one for you.
Horace and Jasper were the comic relief in that, I think. Like, they were bumbling idiot henchmen,
Hey from Moana. Yeah. The chicken.
I think Maui also counts as comedic relief in that movie, too.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
In a way. But yeah, definitely Hey. He's definitely like the sidekick, animal sidekick.
My dad said at one point that Hey is his spirit animal.
Miko, Flit, and Percy and Pocahontas.
Yes.
All chasing each other around.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, the raccoon, the hummingbird, and the dog. They all... yeah.
Yes.
The mice and the cat in Cinderella. Gus, and Jock.
Gus, and Jock, yep.
And Lucifer the cat, or as they called him, Rucifer.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are some good examples. I don't think Fox and the Hound had any comedic relief character. Oh yeah, the woodpecker. He was the woodpecker and the little finch that they hung around the owl. The woodpecker was the comedic relief, I think.
That's right.
He was kind of like one of those dumb sidekick, like, which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
Yes.
Yeah. One of those type... Yeah, and because it was always like the big... It's funny to me in those types of character dynamics, the big strong one is always stupid, and the little mouthy one isn't strong at all. He's really small, but he's still the one in charge. Like...
Yep.
Yeah, it's because he's smarter than the big dumb one. And
yep.
It's like, man, if only you knew you could overpower him, And then they always like backhand their henchmen across the face and go, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
I think I veered out of Disney and into Looney Tunes there a little bit, but
little bit.
But yeah, no, pretty much every Disney movie has your comic relief character. I would argue in Raya and the Last Dragon, the dragon herself is the comedic relief, being played by a comedian and all.
Yep.
Inside Out, that one had... Who would be the... Like, I would argue...
I haven't seen that one enough to determine.
You haven't?
I haven't seen that one enough.
Oh,
I've seen it. I just haven't seen it enough to remember.
Bing Bong probably counts, even though he's also like a very tragic character.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
But I would say as far as the main cast, basically all the characters that aren't happiness and sadness, that aren't joy and sadness are the two main characters. So the other three, they're the comic relief.
Okay.
That's... Because you notice most of the time they're all bumbling over each other, and it's very clear that they can't run things without joy and sadness up there with them. Like, those two keep everything together. So, yeah, they definitely... They're like the chaotic trio.
Yeah.
In that story, I would definitely call them that. So, yeah, there's a lot of good ones. These characters all so memorable. Mater in Cars.
Yes, Mater in Cars. How could we forget about the lovable Mater? Voiced by none other than Larry the Cable Guy.
Mm-hmm. And Lightning McQueen was played by Owen Wilson
Sure
in that movie.
Sure was.
Yeah. He said ka-chow.
Ka-chow. He did what in his cup?
But yeah. That movie, I remember the first time I saw that, I was old enough to actually get one of the innuendos in that movie, and it was when the two female fan cars flashed lightning their headlights. And like, I got caught off guard for a moment there. I was like, damn, did they just really do that?
Like, they sure did.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me anymore at this point, but it's like, I thought that was kind of funny when it happened.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But okay, well, we still have time. Real quick, we will veer, because we've talked so much about all these movies, and there's just so many movies out there. It's impossible to cover all of them in one sitting and do all of them the justice that they really, truly deserve. And there's just like, I'm sure there's several that we didn't even say the names of, that didn't even cross our minds. But they're like The Sword and the Stone, for example.
Another one was Oliver and Company.
Oliver and Company, yeah, yeah. See what I mean? We're already thinking of the ones we didn't think of.
Yup.
That one's got a good song too. Like, why should I worry? Yeah. That one's like Dodger. In fact, if I remember correctly, in the animated special, I think I saw Dodger riding in Vanellope's race car.
Yeah.
In that, yeah, because she was driving and he was in the passenger seat. Okay, yeah. So while we still have time, then we're gonna veer off a little bit and talk about, real quickly, some of our favorite Disney cartoons growing up. That, not ones based off movies, but original cartoons made for TV, like Toon Disney animated originals like Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles. Maybe they had movies made about them later, but they started as shows. These kind of things. Marsupilami, Bonkers. That kind of shit.
Bro, I had all of the fucking gargoyle action figures as a kid, and I had a special spot above my Goosebumps books and my Animorphs books dedicated to my gargoyles action figures watching over me in my room on the top shelf.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I just remember so many, like, Darkwing Duck, when there's trouble you call DW. Darkwing Duck. He's like, let's get dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one was good.
Chippendale.
Chippendale Rescue Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
DuckTales,
yep.
Tailspin, which was technically based on the Jungle Book, but it was its own original story.
Yeah,
because there was no point in the Jungle Book where Baloo was a pilot. So
no, never.
This was a spin-off, a tail spin-off, if you will.
Yes. Let's see.
Yeah, but it was a good one. The Emperor's New School, The Emperor's New School. Because that was based off the movie.
You're gonna make me bust out Disney Plus again.
Did you the Proud Family?
Yes, I remember the Proud Family.
Did you ever see Bonkers, the one with like the bobcat?
I had the Bendy toy when I was a kid.
It's like, but I down to Toontown when the cat diddle. The like opening song was like very like scat jazz style.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it was like
here's a good one. Here's a throwback.
I think the Toontown that Bonkers takes place in was supposed to be the same Toontown from Roger Rabbit.
The Adventures of the Gummy Bears.
Ah, yes. Gummy bears
bouncing here and there and everywhere.
I remember.
Bonkers. Yeah. Okay, I got a more recent one for you that a lot of
recent, you say?
Yeah, recent, and I will actually sit down and watch this and giggle myself.
Okay.
Ryan or no, it was Spencer talked a little bit about it a while ago on Fortress of Nerditude. Bluey. It's fucking hilarious.
That's Disney?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, that's
I wasn't.
Disney.
I wasn't. I wasn't really thinking like the Disney Junior, but hey, that counts.
Bluey. Yeah, no Bluey. It's hilarious.
Fair enough. And
I
obviously,
got
I
I
can't talk about animated Disney shows of this era without talking about Disney's House of Mouse, which is the great culmination of all of
yes.
it put together. God, I love that. I miss that
And
show so much. I'm gonna have to go on YouTube and watch episodes of it again just for nostalgia.
I know that the other so another one, Kim Possible was another good one.
Ah, yes, Kim Possible. That was a good one. Yes,
Recess, yes. The Little Mermaid had its own animated series at one point. The Timon
No,
and
yeah, we did talk about those in like multimedia stuff. I was trying to think of more like the original series, like things that started as cartoons here.
this didn't necessarily start as a cartoon, but it culminated from the movies. Mighty Ducks the animated series.
That's true. I do remember that they had that.
Yep.
But yeah, so many much. I can't believe we did all this Disney talk and didn't mention
Fi-
Winnie the Pooh. He's kind of
Phineas,
a big deal.
right? Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb. Yep. That's one.
Uh,
Is oh shit.
Schoolhouse
What's
Rock.
the
Can't forget Schoolhouse
What's
Rock. Or even Roly
what's the
Poly Oly.
damn it? I'm trying to think. What's the one
PB and J Otter.
what's the one where one of the villains is Gravity Falls? That is the one I'm thinking. Gravity Falls. That's supposed to be a really good one.
I have not seen any of it yet.
All I know is that it gets really dark at points, and one of the villains is a pyramid with an eyeball in it.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah, but it is apparently really good, and apparently there is like Rick and Morty Easter eggs in it too.
Oh
times.
really? Okay.
Yeah, which is Phineas and Ferb the one with Larry the Platypus?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and that's also the one where like they drive their sister nuts because she always tries to tattle on them, and they always have it like fixed by the time the parents get there.
Yep. Pepper Ann.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Another one of my favorites from Playhouse Disney was PB and J Otter.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. There's been some classic Mickey Mouse cartoons too throughout the ages, like just different ones here and there. Quack Pack was a Donald Duck one. Quack Pack.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, there was DuckTales. Goofy had Goof Troop.
Goof Troop
was a
Goof Troop was one of my favorites.
Yep. With the Goof Troop, we'll always come together. Yeah, something like that. Best of friends forever. Okay, so that's a pretty good trip down nostalgia lane, all of those cartoons. Gonna shift gears a little bit, and before we wrap up here, I want to ask Disney video games, and we're gonna say Kingdom Hearts. Of course, we're gonna say fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
It's like the great culmination of all things Disney put together. There's like literally every level in those games is based on a different Disney movie.
Yes,
but we like that game. I'd go on and on about it, but just to be what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm just going to list off the Disney movies that got major representation in these games: Alice in Wonderland, Hercules, Tarzan, Aladdin, Nightmare Before Christmas, The Little Mermaid, Peter Pan, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, Tron, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Lion King, I want to say Frozen, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Fantasia, Toy Story, Big Hero 6, Tangled, and there are more. There's also Easter eggs to 101 Dalmatians, Lady and the Tramp, Bambi, Dumbo, shit like that. But those are some of the... But yeah, a lot of those things got representation in there. Very good stuff. Sleeping Beauty, Lilo and Stitch, they all got representation. in there. Snow White, Cinderella,
Uh-huh.
all the princesses.
Oh yeah.
God, so besides Kingdom Hearts, other Disney video games. We talked before about like the classic like Genesis and Nintendo
Yep.
Aladdin and Lion King
One's
games.
really sitting hard on my mind right now, and I'm looking right at it.
Speaking of which, and speaking of Gargoyles, did you see that the original Gargoyles video game got a remastered release recently? Too,
Really?
just like those other ones.
Okay.
Yep.
There was an Activision game that I had on GameCube. It was Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. It was basically
Ooh, fun.
the Tony Hawk Pro Skater of Disney.
Okay.
You could be Woody, you could be Buzz, you could be a young Tarzan, young Simba, and one of my favorite levels to go through was Pizza Planet from Toy Story.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I played a lot of games based off Disney movies on the PS1 growing up. A lot of them. So the Emperor's New Groove had a video game. Played that. Monsters Inc. Played that. Toy Story 1 and 2 played both of those.
Fun.
Bugs Life video game, played the hell out of that one. That was like my first attempt at like 100%ing a game. Like I tried to find all of the hidden shit in that one.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was early on with that, and then that went into Spyro and all that. So, um, yeah, Hercules, that had like a side-scrolling game. I played that.
Okay.
Yeah, so many good Disney-based games on the PS1. I think there was a Tarzan one too that I played. It was also kind of a side-scroller. Had like vine jumping levels and stuff.
I think I remember that too.
Yep. Yeah, the boss battle with Sabor.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool how some of that shit actually carried over into the first Kingdom Hearts game, too. There was, like, vine jumping, boss battle with Sabor, stuff like that. Other good Disney's Epic Mickey is a good one that I played. Disney Sing It was, like, a karaoke game.
Yep. The High School Musical Sing It.
Yep. Disney trivia games as well. Trying to think. There was I can't remember the name of it, but there was this Disney game where you ran around as these characters in different Disney character costumes, and you would like unlock them as you went on. And
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what it's called either. It's almost comparable to Little Big Planet.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at some others. There was a Cars game called Cars Race-O-Rama that I got the Platinum Trophy in. That was fun. There was also a licensed Cars game. They've done Toy Story 3. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, which got a remaster in 2013. Was a good one. Disney Infinity, I think it was called, the one I'm thinking of. No, Disney Infinity was their version of Skylanders, where you did like you needed the toys, the real life toys you had to buy separately.
Yeah.
To put in it. Yeah, that's what Disney Infinity was. Most recently, Disney Dreamlight Valley has been pretty popular.
Disney Dreamlight Valley, yeah. Sarah plays that one. Sarah plays that one a lot.
It's their version of Animal Crossing, essentially. It's one of those cozy farm games.
Yep.
Type deal.
I actually bought it myself as well.
Disney Mirrorverse, which came out last year, which is like a mobile game. Disney Magical World. WALL-E had a video game. Tangled had a video game. There's been a bunch of Tron video games, including a runner game, a canonical game called Tron Evolution that took place between the first and second movie.
Yep.
Couple different things like that. You know, Disney had a racing game called Split Second. It's not Disney characters based, but it is a Disney published game.
Okay. No, I didn't know about that one. And then you got the more recent one. I forget what it's called.
I think the game I was thinking of, by the way, might be Disney. Yeah, Disney Universe is the one I was thinking of, where they're all like these little characters in costumes.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the cover art for that one, it's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. That game was actually pretty fun. I agree with you. There's a free to play Disney kart racer right now.
Disney Speedstorm.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna say.
Yep.
It has microtransactions, obviously, because it's free to play, but there are, yeah. But it is available now. A lot of great options there, and I guess you could like technically consider stuff like Marvel Spider-Man and all that. But I was trying to avoid talking about Marvel or Star Wars or anything like that at all. I didn't want to talk about the things that Disney bought. I wanted to talk about the things that originally came from them to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, so that made more sense to me. But okay, yeah, there's so much stuff. I would be willing to revisit this topic in the future to talk about some of the stuff that we didn't really talk about this time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's just so much Disney, you can't really squeeze it all into one podcast, you know.
No, we'll come back. Wow, words are hard. We'll have to come back and do this another time.
Exactly, yes, but I think we covered a lot of ground for this one, and I'm pretty content with it. So, yeah, I think we're gonna call it here, folks. That'll be it for this episode. Let us know some of your favorite Disney stuff from all the things we talked about. Favorite classic movies, favorite newer movies, hand-drawn, 3D animated, favorite songs, all that stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave it in the comments down below. Click the like button if you enjoyed the video. Otherwise, you can send me an email at mroversoul53@gmail.com, MROVERSOUL53@gmail.com. Follow us on Spotify, rate on Apple Podcast, all that fun stuff. I'm also on the website formerly known as Twitter at Oversoul53. But I don't know how much longer I'm going to be over there because that place is definitely going to hell. So,
well, you can find me on the website formerly known as Twitter at The Vaping Fiend. You can find me on TikTok at the.vaping.fiend. And why not follow me over on Twitch at The Vaping Fiend.
Yes, all of that and more. So, once again, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, just remember, when you wish upon a star, it makes no difference who you are. Your dreams will come true. Good night, everybody.
Bye.